This Avalanche Safety Report is brought to you by Mountain TV. Watch Mountain TV anywhere with our free Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV apps. Learn more at mtn-tv.com.
Brian Lazar, Deputy Director, joins me today from the Colorado Avalanche Information Center. Brian, good morning. How are you doing?
We're doing okay. I think we're a little bit warmer up here in the mountains than down on the Front Range, so hope you're all staying warm.
Yeah, it's extreme single-digit cold winter conditions down here, but it's not looking like that up in the mountains. Can you break down the current conditions up there and what the avalanche protocol and safety measures are for the current situation that we're in with this winter storm?
Yeah, absolutely. And let me start by kind of just showing you what our snowpack structure looks like across most mountain areas. And so this is an example of a snow profile that one of our forecasters dug, and it shows the layering of the snowpack. And the key layers to focus on are highlighted in this image. And so this is the weak layer of concern down here. This is the weak, faceted, or sugary snow that formed during our 2-week dry spell that took place in November. Then we had subsequent storms and a pretty snowy, period that started at Thanksgiving and lasted kind of through a lot of December, which created a really stiff, cohesive slab on top of the weak layer. And that slab now is 2 to 3 feet or even 4 feet thick in some of our deepest areas. Then we've had just this week a few nights of really cold temperatures with clear nights, and so we now have a weak snow just on the surface. And so we put new snow on top of that weak surface with the storm that rolled through on Wednesday night. So this animation shows essentially what happened with the storm that rolled through on Wednesday. And so you can see that the storm picked up after the evening hours on Wednesday. Most of the heavy snowfall was concentrated up into the northern mountains, with lighter snowfall spilling into the central and southern mountains with another little burst here on Friday. So that storm rolled through and dropped some decent snow. You can see that the snow was concentrated kind of along the I-70 corridor and to the north where the heavier snowfall totals. But wind came through everywhere. And so we moved a lot of snow around just from blowing snow conditions. And what that has done is led to an uptick in the avalanche danger. So you can see that, the northern 2/3 of the state are sitting at considerable danger, or level 3 of 5. This is dangerous avalanche conditions. This is showing us Friday, but conditions are going to remain the same as we move into Saturday. And we've got a little bit of a dry spell that's setting up for the earlier part of next week. So danger should slowly come down as we move into the early part of the next week. And by midweek, we should be seeing moderate danger across many more portions of Colorado.
So, Brian, between this evening and this weekend coming up ahead of the holidays, are they going to expect any additional snowfall that's going to create more severe avalanche danger?
There's just little bits of snowfall as we move through the weekend. I'm talking about an inch or two here or there, and that extends into early next week. That's going to allow avalanche conditions to slowly get better. But for the early part of the weekend, we're certainly looking at this persistent slab avalanche problem, which has been on our forecast for quite some time now because of that November drought layer. And so here we're highlighting the most problematic slopes, and you can see it covers a good portion of the compass. We're talking everything from west through north, all the way around the southeast aspects at all elevations. And so that problem is exacerbated through the weekend because of the snowfall that came through on Wednesday night. And we're warning about avalanches large enough to bury or kill a person. And so here's just a couple examples which really demonstrate the kinds of avalanches that people are going to be able to trigger through the weekend and into early next week. This is an example from just the east side of the Eisenhower Tunnel. This avalanche was triggered by some skiers from about 100 feet away. And so this is what we mean when we're warning of triggering avalanches from a distance or from below. So as we've been saying for the last few weeks, people need to really be aware of avalanche terrain that may be above them, even if they're in flat ground.
Sure.
Here's another example down in the San Juan Mountains in the La Platas of an avalanche that was triggered from, quite a distance away. And then lastly, a pretty big one up here near on Taylor Pass. And this one was triggered and broke, up to 6 feet deep in some places on a heavily wind-loaded slope. Fortunately, no one was caught in this big avalanche, but again, triggered from, 100, 150 feet away. So you can imagine if you're walking down in this flat area here, you may think you're safe, but you can trigger this avalanche from below that would come down on top of you. So that's really what we want people to be cognizant of as we move through the weekend in order to stay safe in the backcountry.
And for those that are heading out, as the temperatures warm up, or is there anything particular that they need to be cautious of when they're heading out if these danger warnings are increasing?
Yeah, they really want to be aware of triggering avalanches from below and from a distance. There is some slight variation depending on where in the state you're going.
Mhm.
So I really encourage people to get your local forecast right on our website, and you can search for the place you're going either in the search bar, or you can just click on the map, and that'll give you specific conditions for the place you're intending to travel.
Even the night before and the morning you get up, if you're heading out into the backcountry in the morning and the afternoon, really stay close, have a close eye on those conditions because it can change so rapidly.
Yeah, I mean, an integral part of planning for travel on backcountry avalanche terrain is checking your forecast, even on the days you don't intend to go out into the backcountry, just so you stay up to date on current conditions.
Great. Brian, thank you very much. It's always nice to have you on the show. And I'm glad to hear that your temperatures are a little bit warmer up there in the mountains than they are down here on the Front Range. So hopefully those will increase too. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good to see you. Have a nice holiday.
You as well.
If you have footage, feel free to send it in. You can always contribute reports and stay up to date with the latest forecast at colorado.gov/avalanche. Enjoy the backcountry and be safe out there.